What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. It's been a few days, but I had to come on back and have some conversation, some intricate, controversial discussions with you. First of all, happy holiday season. Thanksgiving is a wrap, but Christmas is vastly approaching. It'll be Christmas in a matter of weeks, which is crazy to me. It's funny, the hubby and I all weekend up until today were in and out of stores like Walmart and Target and the Christmas tree store and Michael's, trying to find the right Christmas decorations for the outside of our house. And what I thought was going to be a very easy process hasn't been, but we're not giving up. We will get things together in time. Hopefully we'll solidify things by the end of this week. I know it's holiday party time. We have our annual holiday party at our house with our, friends and family. And it's funny, I've been gearing up for that. I've been on Pinterest like crazy because for some reason this year I want to make it epic. I want to make it better than it's ever been. And I feel that if we are planning with enough advance and we have a blueprint for what it is we want to do with our loved ones, that should make the process hopefully be seamless, right? I know things happen, the unexpected will always occur, but if I can help it, if we can be on our P's and Q's, if we could be ready, if we can have our plan and blueprint together, then the more time we'll have to have fun with our loved ones, right? So happy holidays out there. Let's enjoy the season, y'all. Before we know it, like I said, it's going to be Christmas. Today is already December 4th, which means Christmas is in 21 days, which really boils down to Christmas being in like 3 weeks or 3 weeks and change. So it's not that far away. It's actually right here. And I'm all about Christmas. I'm all about the spirit of giving. I'm all about spending time with my loved ones. And I'm here for it and I'm ready. So happy holidays. But that ain't what we fitting to talk about today. I wanted to get the nice, warm, Christmassy, fluffy message out there. But there are two thoughts that I would like to kind of discuss today. I saw them as I was scrolling on my Instagram page. June Ambrose, who's a celebrity stylist to the stars, she actually put up a Jay-Z thought, and it's so befitting because today is his 48th birthday. Happy birthday, Hov. Like, he knows me, he doesn't, but you're my favorite rapper, right? But his quote is, "You can't heal what you never reveal." And as soon as I saw that this morning, I'm like, yep. That's going up on my Instagram page for the website, which is Complex Simplicity 09. And I totally agree with this statement. I feel like there's so many of us that want to heal certain parts within ourselves or certain areas in our lives, but it's hard to get to that point if we can't face the truth, live in our truth about what it is that we need to heal, what the issue is, furthermore to reveal it, right? And revealing it I don't take that as telling everybody your business, everybody your struggles or some of the demons you're trying to get out of your life, so to speak. I feel that every now and then I think it's good to be transparent, and if I'm going through something and I'm having a conversation with someone else and I feel that we're just vibing and whatever my experiences are can potentially help that person, even if I'm in the midst of whatever I'm going through, a lot of times I'll just kind of share. It doesn't mean that I share everything to the degree of what's happening, but I'll share enough where it's like, listen, this is what I'm going through, this is what I've experienced, and I'm still kind of in the midst or in the pits of it, but I do believe that I'm going to see my way out with the help of God, or this is what has helped me when I've gone through a similar situation. I give it to a coworker of mine who actually used to be a supervisor of mine a few months ago. She unfortunately got news that her husband was very, very, very ill. Unexpected news, pretty much stating that he had less than 6 months to live. And the fact that she was able to tell us that as her staff was huge, because there are some people who will go through such a traumatic, difficult, trying, challenging, horrific thing in their life that affects either them or a loved one or both, and will kind of keep it to themselves, right? and will say, I'm going through some things, some personal matters. My attendance at work may not be what you're used to it being. My schedule may have to change, but I'm going through some things. She kind of laid it out there for us and said, this is what the situation is. This is what my husband and I are facing, and it's going to affect my day-to-day schedule. So this is what I'm going to need from you as my team, right? And I give it to her for being able or having the ability to be so transparent during such a difficult situation. This wasn't like something that she was kind of coming out on the other side with, meaning getting through it and kind of getting over things. This was something that she was going through as we were talking, right? So as she was sharing this news with us as her team, she was going through the crux of this craziness, which is very difficult. You know, when a loved one, a better half, a spouse, a partner, pretty much is being told that they're not going to live past 6 months. Like for her to be able to say that to us and talk about it, I was big, and I had to tell her that. I said, you know what? I said, the fact that first I said, I'm so sorry to hear that this is what you and your husband are going through. You definitely are going to be in my prayers, right? That was my first thing to say. And then the second thing that I said was, and I give it to you for having the ability to share that with us, right? To be able to talk about it, because that kind of is what can determine how you're going to grieve, or if you are going to be able to grieve in a healthy way, right? And so the fact that you can actually talk about this traumatic, sad, horrific thing to us, and we're not all connected because we chose to be friends. You know, you're our supervisor, and you know, it's a different type of relationship that we all have, but the fact that you trusted us with this information and you were strong enough to share this with us says a lot about you and your emotional strength, right? And of course, we all would check in with her. And sad to say, today I just got word that her husband did pass, right? So family's definitely in my prayers. And I say all that to say that she is going to be able to heal, to grieve the healthy way, to grieve however she feels she needs to grieve, because she was always able to talk to us about whatever stages of this situation she and her husband were in, right? There are a lot of times where we may check in on people that we know are going through things, and they'll say everything's okay, or they may say it's tough, but keep us in your prayers. Anytime I would check in with her, she was giving like information about what was actually happening, which helped me to be able to pray more intelligently, you know, for her family, right? And so even though we all knew what the inevitable was going to be, it still helped me to be able to pray her strength through it and her husband's strength through this situation in a different way, because she was able to be transparent and vulnerable with what she was going through. Now, this is a very extreme example. I pray that most of us don't have to, you know, experience this kind of situation where you lose a spouse to such a horrific illness, right? However, I do feel that being able to be transparent and vulnerable with others when necessary is an important thing. I mean, the way I live my life, I'm pretty transparent and vulnerable most of the time. And I know growing up, more so during my college years, I saw that there are a lot of people who are not quite like that, or who are very private, and that was hard for me to understand at times, because I feel that, I guess I've always felt, even from being 18, 19, 20 and above, that me being able to share with others, or being able to allow myself to be vulnerable with others, is really, as I always say, it's a sign of strength, not weakness. One, you never know who it can help. Two, you never know who can help you when you allow yourself to be vulnerable about certain things. Three, and living in your truth is just, to me, the easier route to go. To me, it's more work to hide what you're really going through, to hide, you know, your true struggles. I'm not saying walk around and tell everybody every intricate part of your life and your business, but I am saying I think it is important and a necessity at times for all of us to have a sense of being transparent as well as being vulnerable. we're humans, we're relational creatures. I believe God designed us to be this way. We do require and have a need for community with one another, and to help each other get through tough times. To even be able to talk about what you're going through could be such therapy. It could be good for your soul if you're talking to the right people, that is, and so holding everything and bottling it all inside, that's real. I don't get it. No judgment to those who do it. It's just not the life that I choose to live, right? And I've witnessed people, went to school with quite a few people who, even when it came to them being in love or, them being in relationships, everything was so like, until this day, we're grown, we're all well in our 30s, so quiet as kept, even on our social media. It's like no signs of being in a marriage or a relationship. Like, I know to each his or her own, but to me, at some point, this person's a part of your life. Like, it should be not where you're oversharing your relationship, your marriage, and stuff like that, but it should still reflect that this is a part of your life, To me, if I'm gonna be on social media, if any of us are gonna be on social media, what's the point of not sharing your parts of your life, the important parts of your life in some ways, right? And there are a lot of people that disagree with me. My own husband probably disagrees with me on this. He's new to the whole social media thing, but I tell him sometimes, like, listen, the purpose of being on this is not only just to connect with people, but it's connecting with people with regards to what's going on in your life to some degree, and what's the point of being on if you're just going to be nosy and be a voyeur about what's going on in everyone else's life, but don't share much of your own? To me, then why are you even on? Like, that's whack. It should be where you share and I share. You can control how much you share, but if you find yourself keeping major parts of your every day-to-day life on the low, I don't know, he disagrees with me on this, and maybe we'll bring him back for a Candid Talk with Chanel segment where we can kind of flesh it out, but I feel that ultimately I agree with what Jay-Z was saying. You can't heal what you're never going to reveal. You can't heal what you don't reveal. So there has to be a certain level of being open in some way if there's certain things that you want to get through or heal through that you're going through within your life, right? And so that's the first thought that I wanted to share, if that makes sense. The second thought that I saw that I wanted to share was off of Ty Trone. I share or repost a lot of his thoughts on my Instagram page for the website. He is known as Beyonce's stylist, and I think he's so dope and all about positivity. And what he had recently on his Instagram page was RIP to negative thinking, which I completely agree with. I'm working on quite a few things simultaneously right now that I will divulge soon enough. Definitely projects to come out in 2018, right? So that's another reason why you may find that I'm not blogging as much as I used to, because I'm building this brand of complex simplicity the best way that I know how, and I'm working on different projects that do take up a lot of my time, right? And so to give you the best of me in different forms, I have to always remember to not think negatively, right? To not allow other people who are negative thinkers or naysayers to affect me and what I'm trying to do and build, as well as myself, to not shoot me down with certain things, right? So even if the project seems like it's gonna be too big or a lot of work or massive venture, so to speak, it's like, Chanel, throw that negative thinking out the window. As I always say, be balls to the wall, put in the hard work and do what you have to do and enjoy the journey while you're on it, right? This may be my only shot to fulfill certain personal goals and dreams that I might have had, right? And so I have to treat this opportunity, or these opportunities that I'm creating for myself, with such discipline, with such tenacity. I always say these two words, right? With such discipline, with such tenacity and work ethic, and having that spirit of go get it and don't give up, right? because it could be so easy to be in your own mind and sabotage yourself or stand in the way of what could potentially be great, right? What could help other people? What can be that next stepping stone to whatever it is that I need or this brand that I'm building needs. And so I'm so glad that I'm like really balls to the wall, y'all, working diligently on certain things. I will start to promote the projects I'm working on very soon. Definitely 2018, early 2018 is launch dates of certain things. But I have to always have the positive thinking going on, right? I can't shoot me down. I can't feel like, well, what if they think this product is whack, or what if nobody supports it? Because I often feel like I'm not supported by some of my loved ones the way I should be or the way I support them. Like, I have to get out of my own way with that and just go hard and do what it is I need to do. And then let the chips fall as they may when all is said and done, you know. And my brother, who I'm working with on one of these projects, he said something very profound to me last week. And he said, listen, enjoy the journey, Shay. Everybody who is close to me or who's my family, they refer to me as Shay, not Chanel, right? So he's like, Shay, just enjoy the journey. He said, what you're doing is going to make history. Once you put it out there, it's already going to make history. It's going to be out there forever, right? That's something to be proud of. Put in the work, do what you got to do. Don't pay attention to any naysayers. If you allow people to give you constructive criticism about whatever projects you're working on, even take that with a grain of salt and just go hard and do what you have to do. And this is what I love about my brother and the dynamic of our relationship as siblings, is the fact that he can just be so uber reassuring and encouraging like nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, he can just be so, where even if I walked in there feeling like, oh, how's this gonna go? A little bit of anxiety or nervous energy, he'll just be like, listen, we're gonna do this, we're gonna kill this, we're gonna have fun, you're gonna work hard, and you're gonna do what you gotta do. And don't worry, because you're going to already be accomplishing so much just getting this project or these projects out there, right? So don't pay attention to all the noise, or don't pay attention to who you feel may be naysayers or have criticism about what you're doing. Go hard, do what you need to do, and enjoy the journey. I'm all about enjoying the journey. And I have to say, I've been enjoying the journey. I've been actually impressing myself with certain skill sets I didn't know that I might have had to the degree that I have done with certain things. And just the fact that I'm not giving up. And this takes me back to my running journey. I share this on my personal social media, my personal Instagram page. And as I always say, it's not to say, ooh, look at me, I ran 8 miles this morning. It's more, this is what's helping to feed the hunger and the fight in me. This running journey is so much more than me just trying to lose weight and get fit, right? It's also about me proving to myself I can see serious goals through that seem so far out of my reach, right? Running has never been something I was interested in doing, never been a form of exercise that I leaned towards doing, that I ventured to doing until the end of July. And so it's so out of my comfort zone, it's out the box for me, but the fact that in some ways, I like that. I like the fact that it's so far out of my comfort zone, that it is uber challenging, and it only gets harder and harder. You know, I'm at the point where I'm running about 8 miles, maybe 7.5, 8 miles. I'm long runs, like my whole situation. I'm running for 51 minutes. You know, I do get minute breaks every 18 minutes, right? But it's building me up to be able to run an hour pretty much straight, no breaks. And so it gets harder and harder. Each time I complete one level, the next level is even harder, and then the next level is hard. Like, it's pushing me, it's forcing me into a different realm of fitness and mindset, right? And that's what's helping me to build all these other things that I'm trying to do, all these other projects that I'm working on, other opportunities I'm creating for myself. It's because that is actually helping me to have the balls to say, if I can do that, then I definitely could do this. You know, this is what I do. Running ain't what I do. And if I've been all right with that, then I damn sure could do this, because this is within what Chanel does, you know? And so I just want to encourage you out there, don't let that outside noise affect you. RIP to the negative thinking. Rest that in, like put that to bed, lay that to rest, and be about the positivity in your life. And even if you are that negative noise within your own mind, in your own head, just know, kill all of that, right? Be the positive thinker for yourself. Be that positive motivation for yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, you're not going to always have cheerleaders cheering you on every step of the way. A lot of times when we're working towards greatness, that's when we're going to have a lot of the naysayers. And I always say on this website, when I hear crickets, meaning nobody's even trying to cheer me on in any way, or I'm not really getting a lot of support, that in some ways tells me, Chanel, you're on to something. You're on to something great, because it's probably in some way making the people who are around you or who are your friends feel some kind of way at times. Or maybe it's inspiring them, but they're also a little low-key jealous or feeling some kind of way about it. And so I know when I hear all that silence around me, it is a lot of, I'm on to something pretty much. I'm sorry, I'm listening to my washing machine to hear if it stopped. But yes, it means that I am on to something great. And I've been feeling this way from the very start of this website. And it's been a year and a half at this point. I know I'm on to something great, and I'm just still working hard, forging forward, thinking bigger, going harder as much as I can. And I know with whatever is going to drop, whatever projects I'm working on that are going to be released at some point in 2018, I already know. My mom was telling me yesterday on the phone, we were on the phone for like 2.5 hours, and she's like, listen, just prepare yourself, because when these projects do come out, when you do step it up and people are like, oh, she's really serious about stuff out here, just know that there are going to be the naysayers, maybe more than what you've ever experienced before, or it may be the opposite, where everybody who really wasn't actively supporting you is now going to want to actively support you or be in your face, because they're like, oh, she's on to something. So my mom is like, just mentally and emotionally prepare yourself. And that's, of course, what I've been doing. But I'm loving the journey. I'm enjoying it, the challenge of it all. And I just want to encourage you to do the same. And so as I always say, when it comes to my running journey, I parallel it to whatever goals you have in your life, whatever it is you want to achieve, whatever dreams you have and desire, go balls to the wall, go hard for it, work hard, and be humble and do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know. You never know what can actually happen. And don't give up. Don't give up at all. Whatever that is for you, whatever that means to you, take it for what it is. That's my encouragement to you. So for those of us that feel that there are areas in our lives that we really do need to work out and heal, let's know that there's a level of transparency and vulnerability that goes along with that in order for us to heal. And then for those of us that feel like we have a lot of negativity around us, negative noise, naysayers, haters, low-key jealous people, whatever you want to say, RIP to all that negativity, and be that positive voice for yourself. Look to that man above, because you know he's always got us in our best intentions and best interests at heart, right? And just don't give up, right? We got to be that for ourselves a lot of times. I've definitely learned that through this complex simplicity journey, that I have to be that support system for myself. I have to be that positive thinker for myself. I sometimes have to coach myself to be like, no, we got this. We ain't giving up. We're doing this, So don't give up. And just know God will always bring the right people along at the right times to support you, to be your cheerleader, and to give you, the real that you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thankful that my husband, my mom, my brother, my father, my immediate family could be that for me. I may have a friend here or there every now and then that can be, but as long as I got my immediate family that could rock out with me, and I know that they got my back and they really have my best interests at heart, I'm good. And I know I also have myself, right? And so when no one else is there to give certain affirmation or to hold me down, I know at the end of the day, I got that man upstairs and I got myself. So be encouraged. Thank you for rocking out with your girl. Continue to head to complexsimplicity.com. Until next time, and happy holidays, y'all.